Hello students, a warm welcome to all of you. In this module, we are going to discuss 15th chapter in our CBSE curriculum of grade 10. Of course, that is the last chapter in the textbook, that is probability. And what is the importance of this probability according to our board examination point of view? And of course, what is the physical significance of this concept called probability? See, probability is widely used in several fields, and every single day to day life we use probability everywhere. Knowingly or unknowingly, we definitely use probability. And coming to the weightage of this topic, of course, you can expect more marks from this chapter, and it is very easy to score marks, good marks, I would say, from the topic called probability. So, what do you mean by probability? What do you mean by probability? See, probability means simply possibility. So, possibility that you need to measure it. So, simply what is the possibility? For example, you are going to write an exam, right? Without any preparation, you cannot expect more number of marks, right? See, what is the possibility? Suppose if you select some important topics and whose weightage is more, then so you might expect that you may like I can get 40 marks or 50 marks to get pass in examination. And moreover, like coming to some experimental probabilities, like experimental probabilities are nothing but it has to be done, right? Not simply a theoretical probability. Experimental probability means, for example, you have a coin, unbiased coin, and when you toss the coin, then you can expect the outcomes, like it might give head, otherwise tails. Or else if you have a four-sided die, otherwise if you have a six-sided die, when you are rolling the die, then you can expect the possibilities that which number comes on the top, right? So these are kind of experimental probabilities. So what basically probability means? What is the classic definition for probability? So everybody knows that probability means it's a chance. But chance, according to mathematical language, what do you mean by chance? But we need to measure the chance. So when you can measure the chance, then that measuring chance is said to be probability. So probability means simply measuring a chance is said to be probability, as simple as that. If you can measure the chance, then only it comes under probability. Otherwise, it is just a chance. Hope you understand. And you know about the classic definition of probability. What is the classic definition of probability? Probability of getting an event is equal to the number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. You already learned even in grade 9 also, right? See, with the help of that formula, we can measure the chance of getting an event, right? So that measuring a chance is said to be a probability. Okay, so let us try to recall what are all the things that we already learned in the concept called probability in previous years. See, when you observe this, what are all we are going to discuss, and of course some known things and known facts are also there. In this concept called probability, we have experimental probability as well as theoretical probability. So in this concept called experimental probability, like as we discussed, when you are tossing a coin, otherwise rolling a dice, otherwise from a deck of cards, 52 cards, when you are selecting one card randomly, what could be this card? So all these events come under experimental probability. So in this experimental probability, so we generally discuss all these things. And theoretical probability or classical probability, we already discussed this. See, what do you mean by some very important things here? That sure event. What do you mean by a sure event? What do you mean by a sure event? Sure event is nothing but it has to happen, a certain event. A certain event. So what kind of events are called certain events? It has to be done compulsorily. It has to be done compulsorily. See, for example, when you have like a book, a mathematics book, for example, and suppose according to weightage of according to the weightage of the topic in our board examination, for example, this is what the probability that we are going to discuss. So as per the CBSE guidelines, at least one 4 marks problem will come from this chapter called probability. So if you see the board paper, then definitely you can find one problem definitely from the chapter called probability. So that is what called sure event. It will happen definitely. It will happen definitely. See, for example, if I say I am tossing a coin. When I am tossing a coin, I would say it gives either heads, otherwise tails. Suppose if I say surely it will give head, then it is not a sure event, because we cannot exactly say that it gives tails, otherwise it gives heads all the time. It might give head, otherwise might give tails. So that kind of events are not called sure event. Sure event or certain event means it has to happen. You understand? Right. So, and equally likely outcomes. This is what we just discussed. Equally likely outcomes are nothing but when you are tossing a coin, otherwise when you are rolling a dice, otherwise when you are picking one card randomly. Then when you are picking one card randomly, then the probability of picking one card randomly is either it can be 1 or it can be 2 or it can be 3 or it can be a kings. So that there is equal number of chances of getting every single object or every single item. So those kind of events are said to be equally likely outcomes. Those equally likely outcomes will happen in such events, right? And coming to the event, we already discussed event is nothing but then experiment is happening. That is what called event. For example, dropping when you are rolling a dice. So rolling a dice is an event. And when you are tossing a coin is an event. So an event is happening, then you can identify outcomes. They are possible outcomes as well as the total number of outcomes, right? So that is what called event. And a random experiment, when you are experimenting, so randomly it is happening. Randomly it is happening is nothing but you are not fixing something to be happened, so it happens randomly, right? And coming to, for example, sample space. What do you mean by sample space? When I am rolling a dice, then my outcomes are going to be either 1, otherwise 2, otherwise 3, otherwise 4, otherwise 5, otherwise 6. So any one of the numbers will come on the top face of the dice. So all these numbers come under sample space. For example, when I am tossing a coin, I might get head, otherwise tails. So that sample space is going to be heads or tails. This is what called sample space. So sample space means what are all the possible outcomes. The collection of all possible outcomes, otherwise the set of all possible outcomes, is called a sample space. Okay. So these are favorable outcomes are nothing but my favorable outcome when I am tossing a coin, maybe head, otherwise maybe tails. So they are favorable outcomes. So these are all the things we are going to study every single time in the concept called probability. And in this probability, we discuss about a few things. So these are all the points that you will have to remember. So what are the points here? Probability is the quantitative measure of likelihood of occurrence of an event. A measure of chance. So when you can measure the chance, quantitative measure is nothing but this probability has to happen this much. This is what the number is, the probability of my event. So that is what called quantitative measure. Okay. And what is the classical definition of probability? Probability of getting an event E is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E or number of favorable outcomes to E divided by total number of outcomes is called probability of getting an event. See here, you need to remember very important thing here, that probability always lie between 0 and 1. It can be 0 or it can be 1. See, what do you mean by when probability is equal to 0 and what do you mean by when probability is equal to 1? So when the probability of getting an event is equal to 0. For example, I am rolling a dice. Okay. When I am rolling a dice, then what are my possible outcomes? I am not talking about favorable outcomes. What are my possible outcomes? It could be either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Suppose if I choose a number 7, what is the probability of getting a 7 when I am rolling a dice of 6 sides? Will I get number 7 on any face? I will never get, because there is no 7 on any one of the faces of the dice. So choosing an event which will never happen is said to be the probability which will never happen. So that is what called impossible event. That is what called impossible event. So the probability of getting an impossible event should always be 0. Why should always be 0? Because it will never happen. So when it will never happen, then we can measure it as 0 probability. So that is why if any event will never happen, then that event is said to be impossible event, and probability of getting an impossible event is supposed to be 0. Right? And what do you mean by this one? Just now we discussed about this one. It surely happen. It surely happen. Then the probability is going to be 1. So that is why probability of getting an event always lie between 0 and 1, and it can be 0 as well as it can be 1 also. But probability of getting an event with the help of this, and of course we already discussed, probability will never be less than 0 and will never be more than 1. So probability of getting an event is always between 0 and 1, along with 0 as well as 1. Please do remember all these points and see here. Probability of getting an event equal to 0, then it is called as an impossible event. And probability of getting an event is equal to 1, then it is said to be sure event or certain event. Sure event or certain event. It has to happen, that's it. And if E is an event not happening is said to be complementary event. Okay, not happening in the sense, for example, probability of getting an event, if probability of getting an event is equal to some 0.5, then what is the probability of not getting an event? Probability of not getting an event is going to be 1 minus 0.5. So 1 minus 0.5 is also equal to, of course, 0.5. So that is what P of E bar is said to be complementary event. That is what you are given. See, probability of getting an event plus probability of not getting an event is equal to 1. So from this you can say probability of not getting an event equal to 1 minus probability of getting an event. And probability of an event is never negative. That's what we already discussed. Because it never be less than 0, it never be more than 1. And what do you mean by sample space? The collection of all possible outcomes is said to be a sample space. So this is what the concept we keep discussing and we keep reminding again and again in the concept called probability. And so let us have a few events that we are going to discuss here. So what are those few events? First event is tossing a coin, otherwise tossing coins. So here one of the very interesting fact is that, see, when you are tossing a single coin, then what are the possible outcomes? The outcomes are either heads, otherwise tails. So there are total number of outcomes equal to 2 when you are tossing a single coin. When you are tossing two coins simultaneously, so this is the first coin and this is the second coin. Okay, I have two coins in my hands. Then I am tossing a coin. The first coin, suppose the first coin is showing heads, and again I am tossing the second coin. Second coin might show head, otherwise tails. For example, I am fixing this first coin as head and the second coin I am tossing. Then first time I got heads, and second time when I am tossing it might show tails, but not all the time heads only. So with the help of these heads I am getting two possibilities. Similarly, my first coin showed tail, so for this tail also I am getting two possibilities. So that heads, 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 tails, tails, heads, tails, tails. So there are totally 4 possibilities when I am tossing two coins simultaneously. See, when I am tossing one coin, these are my possibilities. And when I am tossing two coins, these are my possibilities. When I am tossing 3 coins, in the same way I get these possibilities. And when I am tossing 4 coins, these are the possibilities. But if I would say one very important thing that you need to understand here, so that very important thing is, for example, when I am tossing two coins or when I am tossing one coin, first tossing number of coins. See here, this is number of coins and total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes. So when I am tossing one coin and when I am tossing two coins, we already just discussed about this. Suppose if I toss only one coin, then the number of outcomes is equal to 2. They are heads and tails. When I am tossing two coins, what are the number of possibilities? There are 4 possibilities. What are those 4? Heads and heads, heads and tails, tails and heads, tails and tails. So there are totally 4 possibilities. When I am tossing 3 coins, I get number of possibilities equal to 8. When I am tossing 4 coins, when I am tossing 5 coins, when I am tossing 6 coins, when I am tossing n coins, what about the number of possibilities? We can easily identify the relationship between the number of coins that you are tossing as well as the number of outcomes, total number of outcomes. See here, a coin has 2 faces. A coin has 2 faces. With the help of that only information, I am going to understand what is the total number of possibilities. See, this 2 can be written as 2 to the power of 1 and 4 can be written as 2 square and 8 can be written as 2 cube and 4. When I am tossing 4 coins, the number of possibilities is equal to 2 power 4. And similarly, when I am tossing n coins, the number of possibilities is equal to 2 to the power of n. As simple as that. If I am tossing n coins, the total number of possibilities or the total number of outcomes is going to be 2 to the power of n. But please do remember here, what is this 2 here? 2 is going to be number of favorable outcomes, whole to the power of n. This is what is only the standardized and general formula in order to find the number of outcomes when you are tossing number of coins, right? So when you are tossing one coin, you get 2 power 1 possibilities. When you are tossing 2 coins, the number of possibilities is 2 square. When you are tossing n coins, the number of possibilities is equal to 2 to the power of n. Please do remember this. And after that, we have already discussed about coins, and then I am going to explain you about what it is, dice. And you know about dice, they are 4-sided dice as well as 6-sided dice. So 4-sided dice are tetrahedrons. So when you are tossing a 4-sided die, each side is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are totally 4 possible outcomes. See, there are 4 possible outcomes. This is 4-sided dice. But when you have a 6-sided die, then the possibilities are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there are 6 faces. Okay, so when you are rolling the dice, then you might get 1 on the face, on the top face, otherwise 2, otherwise 3, otherwise 4, otherwise 5, otherwise 6. See here also the same thing. When you are rolling a single die, what are the favorable outcomes here? The favorable outcomes are going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So the total number of favorable outcomes are going to be 6, because you are rolling a single die. But when you are rolling 2 dice, then what are the possibilities? And how do you estimate these possibilities? See, it is very simple that I can explain you by using a simple example, taking a die. See here, the dice are like you are having 2 dice. Okay, so I am taking the dice, first die, so dice 1 and second one is dice 2. Okay, here for the first die, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the second dice, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it? Now I am rolling both the dice. When I am rolling the first die, it is showing 1. But when I am rolling the second die, it might show 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. It means the total number of possibilities with this number 1 are 6. So that 1, 1 may come when you are rolling both the dice, or 1 comma 2 or 1 comma 3 or 1 comma 4 or 1 comma 5 or 1 comma 6. Similarly, when you are rolling the second die, suppose it is showing 2, and same possibilities, same number of possibilities with the second dice also. Understand? So like that, these are 6 and these are 6. 6 multiplied by 6 is going to be 36 possible outcomes will be there. Okay? So there are totally 36 possible outcomes here. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4, 5 comma 5, 6 comma 6. That is what exactly given here in this. If you once observe, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, sorry, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, 1 comma 5, 1 comma 6. Right? So with the help of this, we can understand a lot of things when you study about rolling two dice simultaneously. Right? Here I would like to tell you one very important thing, that when you are tossing a coin twice, when you are tossing a single coin twice, otherwise when you are tossing two coins at a time, the outcomes will be recorded same. I repeat, when you are tossing a single coin twice, when you are tossing a single coin twice, otherwise when you are tossing two coins at a time, then the outcomes will be recorded as same. And simultaneously, when you are rolling a single die, when you are rolling a single die twice, otherwise when you are rolling two dice at a time, the outcomes will be recorded as same. Hope you understand the concept. Right? So this is about the number of the total number of outcomes. And here itself you can understand one thing, that what are the possible outcomes, how many number of possible outcomes will be there when you are rolling a single die or when you are rolling two dice. See here, number of dice and total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes. So when you are rolling a single die, if there is a single die, then what are the possibilities? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are totally 6 possibilities. When you are rolling two dice simultaneously, then what are the possibilities? Possibilities are going to be 36. When you are rolling three dice simultaneously, what about the total number of possibilities? Now you can understand it clearly. See here, 6 can be written as 6 to the power of 1. 36 can be written as 6 square. Why am I writing it as 6 power 1 6 square? As like we derived one explicit formula for the number of outcomes when you are rolling the number of coins. It is the same as like the number of outcomes when you are rolling dice. See, every single die has 6 faces because we are talking about 6-sided die. So that here 6 is nothing but total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes whole to the power of 1. Here total number of outcomes whole to the power of 2. So when you are rolling 3 dice, then it would be 6 to the power of 3. When you are rolling n dice, then the total outcomes are going to be 6 to the power of n. So this is about explicit formula for the total number of outcomes when you are rolling n number of dice. Right? Okay. So moving on to very important concept and very interesting, of course, that is called deck of cards. So in this set of deck of cards, we have total number of cards is equal to 52. So out of these 52 cards, of course, there is one more card is there, that is called joker, but it will not be considered as one part of your set of cards. So there are totally 52 cards. These 52 cards are divided into 4 colors. 2 reds, not 4 colors, 2 colors. So 2 colors are again divided into two different symbols. What are those two different symbols? So one is with hearts and one is with diamonds. One is with hearts and one is with diamonds. And other two will be in black in color. So one is spade, this is spade, and this is what called clubs. Spade as well as clubs. So totally 52 cards will be divided into 4 parts. So 52 divided by 4 is equal to how much? 13. So there are each 13 cards belong to this category, belong to this category, belong to this category, belong to this category. But here, if you want to know how many number of red colored cards are there, red cards. So red cards are nothing but the cards will not be red in color. Red cards means the symbol on the card will be red in color. So they are 13 plus 13 is equal to 26, and the remaining 26 will be black in color, right? So the total number of cards with heart symbol is equal to 13, with the diamond symbol is equal to 13, with the spade symbol is equal to 13, with club symbol is equal to 13. See here, red color cards are 26 and black color cards are 26, and again hearts are 13, diamonds are 13, spades are 13, as well as clubs are 13. And what are those cards now? See here, the cards are absolutely given here. This is one set of clubs. So like that, we have heart color cards as well as spades as well as diamonds and all. And when you observe here, this is what one set of clubs, and you can identify what kind of cards will be there in set of cards. See here, the first number card will not be with number 1, will be with A, that is called ace card, ACE. So ace card is nothing but number 1 card, that is, but number 1 will not be appeared on the card. So instead of number 1, A will be appeared. And next, second, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Till 10, you can see the numbers on the cards. Okay. So what are numbered cards? Number cards are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of that, A will not be there. Okay. So from 2 to 10, only numbered cards. And what about the other cards? J, Q, K. J stands for Jack. Jack. And Q stands for Queen. And K stands for King. See, J after 10, what is the number? So the number would be 11. So J means 11. And Q means 12. And K means 13. So that is why there are totally 13 cards. But here, we need to understand very important thing, that J, Q, K appear with faces on the card. See here, there is a face, and there is a face, and there is a face. That is why these 3 cards are said to be face cards. In one set of cards, there are totally, out of 13 cards, there are totally 3 face cards. So if there are 3 face cards, total number of face cards in deck of 52 cards is equal to how much? So 3 into 4 is equal to 12 face cards. So please do remember. All these points are very important in order to solve problems given in this concept called probability. Right? See here, face card is equal to, like, there are 4 kings and 4 queens as 4 jacks. So 4 3s are 12. There are face cards. And see here, numbered cards are like, 4 aces. 4 aces are there. And what are the numbers? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are those? There are totally 9. So 9 into 4 is equal to 36 are numbered cards. And moreover, 4 cards are ace cards, because here 1 ace, here 1 ace, here 1 ace, here 1 ace. Understand? How many red colored ace are there? 1 and 2. So there are 2 red colored ace as well as there are 2 black colored ace. So this is about playing cards, deck of cards. Of course, we can have very interesting problems depending on playing cards, as well as interesting problems on tossing coins, as well as interesting problems on rolling dice also. So in the coming module, we are going to discuss about few set of problems which were given in previous board examinations. Of course, they are really interesting to solve. Hope you understand and enjoy the class. Thank you.